Okay, here we go again, boys and girls. Time for another video. And rather than dwell on the past, I thought I would look to the future and talk about the week 6 assignment. So everybody will do better on that one. Because I see improvement certainly, but I still think we have a little bit of a ways to go. And I'm doing this because I think it's important that as you move forward, this is a 300 level class. And when you do 300 and 400 level classes, what the expectations are in terms of papers is going to increase. It'll continue to increase to when you get to graduate school if you decide to do that. And I just want to make sure that you have a good understanding of what the expectation is and the level of research that you need to put into these papers. So I'm not going to go through everything. We have learning outcomes and we have directions. And the thing that I want to point out in here in the directions, and you really need to read these, and you need to read these before you write your paper, and you need to read them after you write your paper as well. And one of the points in here, and I got to be careful about not clicking on this, but remember your target products, target markets from the previous paper. So if you did a poor job on that, and I noticed and you didn't get full credit on that, take a look at it and go back and look at it, what was expected. And there goes my phone. I just turned this on to make noise about 10 minutes ago. So that's going to be important, and understand that these assignments are cumulative. That's why you had to stick with the same product. So you're going to go through, and here are the four things that you're going to do. You're going to have a number, and please number one, and write offering if you want. You don't have to repeat the question text exactly, but take that out. It's okay, because it helps me, because people are having such a hard time answering the questions that maybe if you repeat the question, you'll do better answering it. So you need to describe your product or service as it is currently in terms of features and benefit, price, and total cost of ownership as discussed in the week's reading. So you've got to do that, and I should see all those words in your answer. And then, is it more product dominant or more service dominant? If you need to repeat that question to make sure you answer it, I would do that. That's okay. I remember seeing this before. Yep, take that out. I wonder if I can just do it right now, because this is really what hurts people, I think. And yeah, here we go. So this is where I can make... there's no need to repeat the question. I think we do, because people are not answering the question. I mean, that's why I'm here to talk about it, because I look at what's expected and I look at your answer, and they aren't congruent. So based on the four categories of service, types of service of offerings discussed in the course text, describe the category which your product or service belongs. So you should write that out. My product or service belongs in this category. Write that out. Based on your new target market, would that category of offering change? And if so, how? So answer those questions. Make sure you have those in here. And as we go through each question, and if you don't repeat the question, that's what I got to be careful of, is clicking on it. If you don't repeat the question, answer the question. So where it says, should the current product or service be modified to more fully meet the needs of your target market? No, I don't feel that my product or service needs to be modified to fit the needs of my new target market. Say that. And then you know exactly what you're talking about. And then you say why, of course. You have to substantiate these, and that's where the thought comes in, and that's where, if you've done the reading and you've done some research on your products, because that's the other thing that people need to do, is you need to go somewhere, either in the online library or on Google Scholar or somewhere, and do some research about your product, so you'll be able to add different information as well. And then product life cycle as well. The stage that my product is in is maturing, or whatever it might be. It's, pick a category and go with it. And the same with part two. There are your learning outcomes, there are your instructions, and then here also, here are your 4 questions. I'm sorry. So, to the best of your ability, outline the marketing channels of the product or service as they currently exist. So, the marketing channels of my product currently exist as this. These are the channels that we're in, whatever it might be. Okay, and then, say that, answer that question, and answer all of the questions, and do it so I know exactly where the answer is. I know that if, in APA format, you may not be numbering your answers, but in this case, if you don't put what the title of the question is, like value chain or pricing strategy or the number, one or the other, I'm like looking. And if you don't do a very good job of answering the question, I'm looking pretty hard. So understand that. Then the other thing, and this is a small problem with only a couple of people, but 12 point times New Roman. 12 point. Can't stress that enough. Okay, I'm 58 years old. It's hard to see sometimes, and it's hard enough to find an answer when you're not answering the question correctly. So I'm sorry that I may seem a little bit gruff on this video, but I think that, I did a video before and I still see some of the same things occurring again. So I want to make sure that you've watched that first video, and hopefully you're watching this one too, and it's just not the people who don't need any help then that are doing really well. But if you read the instructions and then look at the question and look at your answer, and if your answer answers the question very clearly and succinctly, okay, that means without lots of flowery words and all that, just get to the point, because we're not doing a word count here. I'm not grading people on how long it is. I'm grading as to whether you answer all the questions and you have in-text citations and you're doing outside research, and I'm grading you based on the rubric. So, it can't be any more clear, I think, than that. And if it isn't, please drop me an email. But good luck to everybody. Have a great day and a great week, and